I know, I know, I know. We all love our cats, but that doesn't mean that everything is perfect. These jokers come with some cons for sure, but in my humble opinion, the pros far outweigh those. But today, I'm mostly making this for folks who don't have a cat that are considering getting one, and also for us a little seasoned in the game. This can provide some checks and balances. So here we go. Now, should I start with the pros or the cons first? I've seen it done different ways. What do y'all think? I tell you what, let's be positive and let's start with a pro. The first pro is that cats are low maintenance compared to other pets. Now, I guess to have this perspective, you would have had to have other pets. So I've had other pets. Most of y'all know, well, hopefully, most of y'all are subscribed and follow the channel. But I'm a dog guy. I grew up raising dogs all my life and bred dogs and all of that. So compared to dogs, cats are a breeze. But most pets, cats, you don't really have to do a lot. You have to feed them. You have to give them water. And you don't have to walk on them. You don't have to do all this. You do have to play with them a little bit, but that should come natural. And then you don't even have to take them outside to use the bathroom. You just have to, make sure that they have a litter box. I mean, comparatively speaking, very, very low maintenance. So if you're looking to get a cat, that's definitely a pro. Oh, another part of that, I didn't want to leave it out. Again, I even had fish. So with fish, you gotta change the tank. You gotta do, depending on salt water, fresh water, not to get into that. But cats even clean themselves. So you don't even have to give them a bath like other pets. So it's really, really low maintenance. Okay, that's it. Now, for the first con, I said this was a pro, but it's also a con. That's the litter box. Now, you don't have to take them outside for a walk and all of that, but that litter box can be funky with a capital A. Okay? So, I mean, you have to stay on top of it, I guess is the point. Because if you stand on top of it, you don't really have too much problem. But if you let it go 2 or 3 days, your house will be lit up. Okay, and I guess this depends on how many cats you have, on how frequently you have to change the litter box. From the start I had 2, now I have 3, and so of course those litter boxes fill up faster than if you just had 1 cat. But sometimes I'll be honest, man, I don't feel like fooling with that litter box. I mean, and the more cats you have, the more litter boxes you're supposed to have. The rule of thumb is for every cat you're supposed to have 2 litter boxes. So 1 cat, 2 litter boxes. 2 cats, 3 litter boxes. 3 cats, 4 litter boxes. Now, to be honest, I have 3 cats, but I don't have 4 litter boxes. I have 3 litter boxes. There's 3 floors in this place, and I have one on each floor. That works for me. But you know what? Now that I'm saying this, maybe I need to get a 4th litter box. I wouldn't have to change the crap so much. Anyways, it after you had cats for a while, you know, having to keep changing that litter box can be a pain in the butt. So I will list this as a con. Now, for another pro of having cats. Cats are exterminators of pests around the house, right? So actually, guys, this is why cats were originally domesticated by humans. Is because on farmlands and things like that, they would kill the mice and keep that down. And that's why people decided to domesticate them. But if you have a cat, you have a built-in exterminator. Hopefully y'all, not saying because you don't have to have a dirty house to necessarily have a mouse, especially if you live kind of out in the suburbs, the deep suburbs, especially rural areas. So that's a great benefit. You don't have to worry about that. Now some cats, like if there was a mouse in here, I know Robin wouldn't do nothing. It depends on a cat too. Some of y'all treat your cats like little babies and they so prissy and all that. The mouse would probably chase your cat. That's a whole nother conversation. But technically speaking, they are pest deterrent, right? Is that a word? Yeah. Now, I'm talking about rodents. If y'all have roaches, that's a whole nother conversation. Now, here's another con. Cats do shed. That gets on my nerves. Now, again, this depends on the cat. All cats shed. I think, well, if you have a Sphinx, of course, they don't shed. They hairless. But other than that, all cats shed. But depending on the coat that they have, would determine how much they shed. If you're looking to get a long haired, fluffy cat, expect more hair. But the cats that I have, the Devon Rexes, Batman and Robin are both Devon Rex breed. They have short hair, but they shed. Bruh man used to shed more than them. Now he is what kind of cat is he? A Bombay cat. But now that he has a skin illness, he don't really shed. That's not that's a good thing he has a skin illness, but it did stop his shedding altogether. Well, I guess it's the medication he's on, but you have to brush your cat regularly. I brush my cats once a week, and that helps. Depending again on the kind of coat that your cat has, you may have to brush them more than that. Again, depending on the cat, you may have to brush a little less. If you have a long hair cat, I've heard people say they have to brush their cat every day. That will get on my nerves. But shedding all over the carpet, all that stuff is definitely, and on the furniture, that's a pain in the butt. Now, some people get used to it. It might not bother you, but another downside or con of them shedding is friends and family. Now, you live with the cat, but there's quite a few people I found that are allergic. They say they're allergic to the cat. They're not really even allergic to the fur. It's the dander, right? And for those of y'all who don't know what dander is, cats groom themselves and lick themselves all the time. And the saliva that dries up on the fur, that's the dander. That's what people are allergic to, not the actual fur. But, that's another conversation. Shedding is a con, folks. Now, here's another pro that a lot of people may not know, especially if you don't have a cat just yet. Cats are very affectionate. A lot of people think that cats are standoffish, or, that's what I used to think, right? But here's the thing with cats, and this is why I get along so well with them, because their personality is similar to mine. Cats are very affectionate, but you have to earn that affection. Cats are not affectionate or loving to every Tom, Dick, and Harry they come across. They gotta get to know you. You gotta bond with them. They gotta bond with you. But once you make that connection, they are extremely affectionate to that individual that they have built that bond with. Now, here's the thing. Some cats, because they build that bond with you and they connect with you, they can catch an attitude if you leave them alone too long. Now, between my 3 cats, I have this situation with bruh, man. When I leave out and I go somewhere for 5 or 6 hours, or, if I'm gone for a lengthy period of time, when I come home, this joker got an attitude. He's always up on me. All of them are. They cats. They follow me everywhere I go. We definitely had that bond. But when I leave for a while and I come back, he won't let me pet him. He won't come around. I mean, he'll be around, but he'll be like off in the distance looking. And it took me a while to understand that this is his thing. He's mad at me because I left him. And so I used to try to pet him and all of that, and oh, come on. Now I just leave him be, man. I know he gotta go through that. And usually after about 30 minutes, he'll come around and want me to pet him and sit in my lap and all that. But he goes through that, man. So cats are like that. I have a real strong bond with bruh, man. For those of you who all don't know, I got him from a shelter when he was 8 weeks old. I think, whoever had him or had his mother really apparently didn't want kittens or anything. He was separated from his mother as soon as possible and put in a shelter. And so then when I got him, it was during COVID. So, COVID, wasn't nobody coming around. So he didn't see another person except me till he was like a year and a half old. Yeah. So he's extremely bonded with me. And for that reason, when I leave, he catches an attitude. So I've heard other people say their cats are like that. So cats are very affectionate. They love you dearly, but it's something that you have to build with them. Once you do that, it's not too many other pets that are bonded that way, I must say. Here's a con that I am oh so familiar with. Over the last 2 years, I've become very familiar with it, and that is the vet. And I guess for any pet you have, you had to deal with the Batman. Would you please? But again, if you follow my channel, you know that Robin had a real severe illness. I guess it's been a couple years ago now where we didn't know what was wrong with him. Spent a lot of money. I'm talking about in the thousands. This was before I got insurance. It taught me to get it. But now, come to find out, he has asthma, and we're dealing with that. And he has it, but he's okay now. And then, bruh, man, over the last 9 months or so, he came down with this severe skin disease. And don't ask me what it is because the name is so long. I can't pronounce it. It's gotta be the longest name on the planet. But he has this skin disease, right? And it took a lot of trial and error. I found a good vet, my man Joey, that we kind of got it under control now. But I mean, and see, here's the thing. One of the main reasons I got cats was because they were low maintenance, based on my living situation at the time. And so, man, I've took one on the chin with the vet. So you will see a vet more than likely, especially when they get a little older. So that's always a con. And another pro, here's a good one. Cats are entertaining. Okay? A lot of times, I know myself, and again, this is going out to people who don't have cats in their home just yet. You may not know how entertaining cats are. But again, it's building that connection and that bond. Once you get to know them and their personality, you can tell when they being goofy, when they being silly, when they playing. I mean, they are a lot more entertaining than I ever imagined. And some of y'all know this one, Batman, he's almost a little too entertaining. When I don't want to be entertained, he don't stop. He don't have an off switch. So, at times that can be a con. But in general, guys, that is a pro. Your cats will keep you entertained, and that's always a good thing. Now, remember to treat your animals well. After all, they didn't ask to be there with you. But now, all they have is you. Won't you treat them like family? Fam.